And welcome everyone. Today we'll be playing European Highlander, and therefore this stream will be in English to honor the fact that there is not only Germany where Highlander is played, but also Finland, Slovakia and other places of the world. So in order for you to follow the complicated concept of Mono Red Burn Highlander, we'll be doing this in English. Of course I can reply to chat in German, or read German chat and reply in English if necessary. So, I'm playing against Cedric, who volunteered to be my test partner for a few hours. So, because finding Highlander opponents on Magic Online is not that trivial, so I'm very thankful for Cedric to dedicate some hours of his time to enable me testing a bit online. So I recently, to be precise, yesterday played this deck in a tournament. I finished 7th out of 20, which was quite okay. And I'm curious to see what actually is the state of red deck wins / burn in European Highlander at the moment. So back in the days, burn was always not always a tier 1 deck, but always a deck that one had to be able to cope with. And in recent times, with the printing of many mid-range bombs, this has changed a little bit. But now we have come to a point, I think, where also red has gotten so much value, so many good cards, that it's actually worthwhile again to play red deck wins. So I think we're playing against some Rakdos stuff. We can go with a Hellraiser at this moment that has Echo 1 red mana, and we only have 2 drops in hand, so it will be possible to pay Echo next turn and still play one of our 2 mana spells. Which one that will be, we'll have to determine. So we don't have to bother about Echo anymore. We choose this player to deal damage to. Success. Seal of Fire. Okay. Well, actually, that's not too bad at the moment. We do have a Chain Lightning as well. No, it's not that useful at the moment. I don't really intend to block with a Channeler because he has Seal of Fire. Still, I think I want to have it online, so I just play it. But keep the Chain Lightning in hand for the time being, because at this point of the game I don't think it's really that good an idea to shoot 3 to the head. That's a target where I love to shoot 3 damage to. Oh, holy. That's a nice combo. I haven't thought about Mayhem Devil and Seals so far. I only play that guy in Pioneer. Never really thought about playing it in Highlander, but that was convincing. Seal of Lightning Bolt is better than Seal of Fire. I'm willing to admit that. Okay, so now we seize the opportunity to burn that guy. I don't think we need to care too much about the Unlucky Witness at the moment. We can drop the Ankh of Mishra before it's rendered totally useless. So one thing that maybe deserves a mention, this deck is about 97% of the deck I played yesterday, when I found that Fable of the Mirror Breaker and Den of the Bugbear cost about 100 ticks on Magic Online. I decided to try the budget variant. Den of the Bugbear would be a card that I would always include, that's no question. But my test results regarding the Kiki Jiki Saga are not very consistent so far, so I'm not sure if that's actually a card that I want to play. So what has happened here? He has destroyed his own witness to gain card advantage. That's interesting turn of events. So usually I play as many threats. So usually I don't see my opponent destroying his own creature when I'm on mono red. So this will hopefully be the last land I play while the Ankh is active. I will use the port in this upkeep step. I'm not too sure. It probably doesn't matter. Only Captain Hindsight will know what's right and what's wrong. Oh, Wasteland. Fair enough. I don't need to burn his face, I think. Kumano. Yes, that's a card I'd like to play. It will be lots better when I top deck a creature next turn. But anyway. Will he waste my port? He will. Did I deny a random second black mana by chance? I mean, with the Wasteland he had 4 mana, 5 mana at his disposal. I don't see the necessity to Deretti. That creates 1/1 defender tokens. Can use to sacrifice. Wow. It's not too terrifying. I don't think I need to burn Daretti's face here. Yeah, one was kind of a bad top deck. I mean, his tokens have defender, he's not that aggressive at all. I just play it so I have Ramen of Ruins active, and this way I have Barbarian Ring included, 10 damage to the face that I can deliver, so we can see how that turns out. Fiend Artisan. Fiend Artisan is maybe something that we need to laser. I mean, I'm only 1 bolt short here, right? Do I really need to do that? Probably I do. That's the only thing that's dangerous on the board, actually. so this might be fine. So I also keep the lightning bolt in hand in order to see where we want to go. I don't want to attack directly, I think. That's a jump. That's fine. And we're playing mono red control. So no kidding, this is something that mono red does quite frequently actually. And with every burn spell being a removal spell, it's not too bad at that either. Unearthing Mayhem Devil. Well, that's kind of a problem maybe. Another construct. Before anything else happens, I will laser that devil. And it's also exiled because the spirit of Kumano lives on. So these don't matter. Another land, but Searing Blaze is interested in seeing landfall. That's a bit of a bad timing. I'm still not overly interested in the ready. That's a double block. I kind of hoped for that. So now we have Threshold, which means that we can turn our Barbarian Ring into a shock. In case that will be necessary. Peasy Mensa is a value machine that I'd like to draw as well. That's a wall of blockers. What has he discarded, by the way? Meathawk Massacre and Unholy Heat. Okay. Gristless Sigil. Wow. That would mean he'd gain life. That's kind of bad. I'm not as zealous to shoot my own creature here, but I think I actually want to shoot damage. I want to shoot the Seasoned Pyromancer in response so that Kumano exiles it while he's still on it. So that he cannot get the graveyard value of that card. That's sweet, he's playing some kind of Rakta Sacrifice. A deck I like a lot in Pioneer. I haven't seen it in Highlander so far, but it might well be that we also here have reached the critical mass now. So yeah, that's quite underwhelming now. We need to find some kind of value in order to come back into this game. Yes. Okay. The anchor's down. Ooh, that's a card. I can play one spell from the grave. That will be a 3 damage spell, I think. As I don't have landfall, I mean, one here and one there, still fine, probably. No, it's still fine, I think. Where do I need to click? There. Player or planeswalker, that one. Creature... that one. I want to deal damage here. And Alf is gonna take it. That's also a surprisingly good card. 2 mana 2/2 haste is fine. And when you encounter late game flood situations like these, it's actually quite a value machine. So still, there's 8 life points that I need to get rid of, which is quite a lot. Copter is a nice card. So, as long as Direty is there, he can isolate one of my creatures. Not really isolate, but perpetually jump one of my creatures. But Direty never was in 1 bolt range, so I think I can justify my decision not to burn it. Although, in hindsight, maybe it would have been worth to dedicate damage there. Okay, this is the blowout. I've been too slow. It's not the best hand I've seen, but it's fair. I can go 1-drop, 2-drop. I even have choice with the 2-drops. This is, for example, one of the 3 cards that I didn't play the tournament on Sunday, because it's just a Savannah line. It's a fair one at that. I don't know if it's right or wrong to play it, but we'll see. So we have less hand cards than him, so we could spot Rob of the Rich, followed by Reckless Stormseeker, so just nail him to the wall, basically. Galvanic Glass, so there's an artifact sub-theme in his deck, which makes sense, I guess, because I would expect that the Anvil from Neo is in that deck, so a certain amount of artifacts seems to make a lot of sense. He has a smuggler's copter. This means Rob of the Rich is alive. Which means if I attack with it, I can use the card in his exile, maybe even multiples. That's a land, right? Okay. So in that case, I will just use that now, because I'm not very optimistic that my chances of attacking with rogues will be here forever. Again? That's so devastating. I have a unforeseeable 3 damage to Smuggler's Copter in hand now. This is quite sweet. I want to... No! Usability fail. Okay, if... keep in mind, if he gets down to 3 life, I would have won in real life, because I'm just too stupid to click through Magic Online. Fable. That's Fablehaft. Sorry. Question is now, what do we want to do? Grill that copter or grill that goblin? Okay, that answers the question. If he doesn't attack, we grill that one. That's a terrible draw. So, no misclicks this time, please. Now is the attacker step. I'll want to tap that thing, I think. Cool, I even tapped 2 lands this way. Unearthing time again. Just to keep in mind, if I hadn't misclicked, he would be on 1 now. Which would be game by now. Alas, Vortex might be game in any case. So I think I'm happy to trade. It's another card and another damage for him, so it's time for the hurry up wagon. Okay, so luckily my misclick didn't get punished. It's a tempting but also probably a trappy hand. Only got 1 mana, several 1-drops. But several 1-drops, if I can only cast 1 at a time, is probably not good enough. I think this is too risky. In other matchups, maybe against control, I would have considered keeping this. But in this setup, this is not fine. So on the draw, Angaf Mishra is not a good card. You can board that out. Placed when deals return a land you control to owner's hand. Okay, so that's not an attacker for round 1. This card I also did not play on Sunday. It's a card that I encountered in the previous Westphalian Highlander tournament series when Benjamin played mono red aggro, and he played that card, a card I wouldn't have expected to see in any serious deck, but apparently, according to him, it's actually quite fine. So I'll play it and I won't attack the first turn because I want to have 2 mana next turn. I can remove this annoying stop. It's a brief feeling of missing my Angaf Mishra, but I wouldn't have gotten it into play before he fetched, so... Spawning Pit, I haven't seen that in a while. Ooh, that's a cool card. Cool sack outlet too. I think I played that in a mono-black commander deck like 15 years ago. Maybe it was even a Highlander deck, I cannot really remember. It was probably my mono-black Balfour commander. So let's send in Robert. Robert is a good boy. The Guide Beast has to wait until next turn. Grave Pact. Ooh, spicy card for a sacrifice deck. So I'm just starting to imagine the sight of the board of a mono red Highlander with Grave Pact on board. It's, definitely a sight to see. Croxa. That's a bad boy. And he'll probably sacrifice it into something. Village rights, maybe. Yeah, I know how this works. I need to discard a card, and I want to play Laelia next turn, so it's going to be play with fire. Kumano. Also a nice one, but we're not going down that alley. Not yet. Do we find a Chromox? Oh. Interesting. Yes, we're doing that. Croxa will let me discard anyway, but I could discard a mountain that way. Actually, I think I like that. So even if he goes for escaping Croxa, there will be hell of a lot of damage coming his way. Oh, he cannot Croxa. He hasn't got enough cards in the graveyard, actually. Meathook Massacre is a bummer, but Laelia will survive as far as I can tell. Which makes it a bit more bearable. Creature would be great. Land not. Land is not great, actually. Yeah, well, we could still hit something with Laelia this turn. Yeah, then we're just going this way. That's a creature. As you can see, there are several reasons for playing haste creatures post-combat. Okay, I need to sacrifice a creature. It's probably going to kill both anyway. But Laelia does survive more than the Crasher does. So I choose that. He can jump Laelia and go to 3, so I need to find a bolt, basically. That's not a bolt. It's also not a bad card. Eidolon is also not a bolt, but close enough. Isn't this a replacement effect? Oh, he sacrificed it. Never mind. He sacrificed it. Then it's of course no damage, no replacement effect. Still, this looks kind of great. Let's keep this short. Okay, cool. Then I'd like to get another match going, asking Cedric whether he would be ready to challenge me with the next matchup. So, back to business. I will do another 1 or 2 matches with the red deck wins, and then resort to the very angry robots. I want to play first. I have 1.5 lands and a free spell. That's actually fine. This is the pseudo 1-lander that one can actually keep. Because it's not really a 1-lander when you have this. So do I want to... Yeah, I think I can go with Lava Runner first. And can do tap land, play with fire next round. Actually, one thing I tend to forget is that when you... I don't know what I'm playing against now, but if I play against black and they have a duress, they could have me discard my land, which is unfortunate. Which would be unfortunate. This, however, is great. With the untapped land, we have plenty of options. We could even go Spikefield Hazard now. But I'm a huge fan of Rob of the Ridge, actually. We play that. We don't need to do that now, actually. We can attack first. Iteration. Yeah, I'll be happy to cast that. And also I want to get rid of that. Probably has to get rid of the rubber now. Well, it doesn't seem to be convinced in that regard. Then I'll try attacking. Miscalculation. Do I want to try the iteration? I think so. It's basically a free spell. So if I get a counter off his hand by playing iteration, it will be fine. Stomp. This is counter that actually. That's stupid. This might have been a misclick by Cedric, so there would be no reason to stomp robber after attacker were declared. I mean, he could of course not foresee this worst case happening, but he wouldn't wanna enable my burn spell here. My rogue library thingy. Yeah, he just texted me that he actually did misclick that, yeah. I felt that. Yeah, but he's not the first player today in this stream to do some Magic Online click punts, so we won't be judging him too hard. Oh, actually, I could have unfolded the graveyards maybe. So yesterday when I did this, my opponent had divert and killed my creature. I hope that this doesn't happen again. No, it doesn't. Forked Bolt. I actually think that this doesn't get me anywhere at the moment. So pulling that away. We don't play a land now because if we manage to robber, which doesn't seem to be the case because he's in the thinking mode, that will probably mean a dead robber. Magmatic Sinkhole. Yes, it's a very dead robber actually. That player, please. It's a very long-lasting Spikefield Hazard. I played it as a first round play, actually. So either we're playing... Is it Tempo? Or we're playing Timur, which was mana screwed. I think he told me what matchups he intends to play. Let me have a look. Yes, so he calls it bug control, so that's probably Timur with a little bit of green. Probably for Ren and Oku and stuff. So maybe he wasn't mana screw, but simply didn't need the green mana, but maybe it was also both. So I can play the Gorger. Is there any reason not to play Gorger but Mishra's Factory? I don't think so. Actually, I want to play Mountain first, because there's 3 and 4 drops in my hand, and if he manages to pull a Wasteland out of his hat, That guy is toast. And there is a force. So now we have 2 reasonable 3-drops. Both can run into Force Spike and Daze. There's 2 more counter spells that can hit this one, which is Spell Pierce and Force of Negation. What would I want to discard into Seasoned Pyromancer? I'm pretty sure I would find stuff that I would be willing to discard. So let's see if this resolves. It does. Gotcha doesn't seem to be too useful at the moment. Confluence is just a big spell, and I don't want to get rid of that. So this is quite okay. Great Whale. Whale might be a problem. That's not very helpful. But then again, he doesn't know that this is not helpful, so I think I can do the all-in, representing a 1 or 2 damage spell. He didn't fall for it. That's a pity. That's kind of embarrassing to not be able to answer the 3/3 creature when you are a red deck with 4 hand cards. So what did he take? Where's the game log? He did take Fire Ice. Okay. Yeah. So one of these cards is Fire Ice. Can I erase this? In any universe? I mean, I could try Fiery Confluence, but it's not a very good thing to do. I mean, he has only 2 hand cards that I don't know. There is a chance that there is not any counter, but it's a very, very slight chance. Yeah, but I need to try this, right? I mean, I'm making offers when I do that, because I would kill also my creatures. Which poses the question, do I maybe want to attack first? The alternative would be attacking with a Wayward Guide Beast, which is worse, actually. Yeah. Then we send in these clones first, and then try to resolve Fiery Confluence. Interesting. Curious to see how that turns out. If a token phases out, does it cease to exist? No, right? We should probably have chosen the... And he texted me, misclick, I wanted the other. Okay, so he has only one card left. It cannot be Force of Will. This means that actually that his misclick turns out to be good for him, because... No, this is not as bad. 1, 2, 3 to each creature, please. So there's still one card that we don't know, and one Fire Eyes in his hand. That's a Stompy. Stompy is a kind of a good blocker now, unfortunately. The Magus of the Moon won't get me anywhere. I mean, it's a 2/2 creature, which is deactivates my Mishra's Factory. Still, we're playing that. It's a creature. It can attack, it can block. Things that creatures do, that's fine. Oh, wow. Didn't expect that one. So... I'm not blocking that. Maybe I should have blocked it. No. It's fine. Just realized that I have a Seasoned Pyromancer in my graveyard, so I can just jump that Bone Crusher next turn. And my Magus of the Moon gets the honorific title of Grey Ogre of the Day. That's not a Grey Ogre, it's actually worse. Mishra's Factory says, I'd rather have the grey ogre now. Is that a stifle coming up? It's a dig. Okay. Why would he do that now? Maybe he runs stifle and hopes to find it? But is this something that is worth stifling? I'm skeptical. Probably most other cards that you could find would be better. Arc Trail. That's pretty bad. Five card types. This is nice. Does it get haste? No. Only attacks each turn if able. Well, do we want to attack? Yes, we do. Because then we basically say, oh, okay, then Mishra's Factory is active again, which is very nice as well. He unveiled my secret tech. The secret mountain of secrecy. Disappointing. Very disappointing. I should probably block. Because otherwise I would be down to 2 in my upkeep. I think that would be pretty bad. This assembly worker will be 3/3 now. Or won't it? Good old Mishra's Factory. This shit never gets old. Chain of Vapor. Not sacrificing all that. Well, I can save 2 damage actually, right? But then he can counter the Vortex. We're not doing that. Grim Lava Boy. That's a good one. He really has a spells now. Here's the last card. Well, that was good that we did this in his turn. It's 1 mana less for him at least. Okay, so that was quite satisfactory. Okay, there will be a short break, after which we will continue with maybe the robots deck. So yeah, I want to play the other deck, which is a variant of the Angry Robots / Affinity Highlander. And I recently did some corrections of the list. I added these 6 red spells, which I think are quite worthwhile considering. And this has grown my maybe board even more. So this is not a sideboard, of course, because we're playing Highlander, but it's the pile of cards which is which I either had in my deck or cut it at some point. The synthesizer is now in the deck actually, so we can remove that from here. So the most recent things I cut were Blackstaff, Glass Casket, Psy, Rise and Shine due to underperformances. Same is true for Walking Ballista, which only works well with tons of mana, which I usually don't have. Mirror Enforcer is also not that impressive. I was thinking of even cutting the Sojourner's Companion, which is basically the same, but with its ability to do artifact land cycling. I think I give it one last chance to prove itself. Yeah, and so there are many prominent cards actually. So I think Frogmite is the same category as Mirror Enforcer, is just too weak for as an overall package. One could include Retrofitter Foundry if one wants to be more control-y. There is Grave Hate Artifacts, which one could play if one wanted. I don't want that at the moment. There is white spells like Skyclave Apparition Palace Jailer, which would be premium removal in non-artifact shells. But are not as impressive and also not as easy to cast in this deck. So actually in the paper version I tried the initiative cards because they tend to be very, very broken. But unfortunately the White Plume Adventurer and the Seasoned Dungeoneer are simply not part of Magic Online as of now. I really hope that they will fix this, because they are, given how strong the initiative ability is, they might be an integral part of Magic, of formats like Highlander, Commander, and maybe even Legacy and Vintage, I don't know. But yeah, for the moment, I'm more focused than ever on casting cheap artifacts which can pressure the opponent and get maximum value of the artifact count with cards like Michiko's Reign of Truth, Nettle Cyst, the Construct tokens, Cannoneer, Urza, and I'm also trying Tezzeret as sort of a top end. Double blue might not be too easy, and I also have another double blue card already, but yeah, I'm quite quite convinced that if I get this on the board, this is very good, so it's worth a try. So I'll get myself a drink, and then when Cedric is back, we can play another round or 5. So it is on. We continue with Angry Robots against whatever. We'll see. That's a complicated hand. It actually doesn't do much. I can play Lightning Bolt and I can play nothing else before turn 3. Yeah, this is one of the perils of the robot decks. Sometimes you have hands with good individual cards that don't work well together. This is 3 1-drops, and I'm in desperate need of a second land, but I'm on the draw. I think I can risk it. Get rid of the 4-drop. Get rid of the stop. Another 1-drop, but not what I was looking for actually. Then we go down the more aggressive road. Play a creature that is hopefully 2/2 next turn. But we definitely need to draw mana now. Message to the shuffler: Mox Diamond is not mana in the current situation. Please do not give me Mox Diamond. Mox Opal would be fine. So we seem to be playing against something new now. Mother of Runes. Come on! Fuck. Okay, we bound. We play this. We beat for 2. And we embarrassedly admit that we don't have the second land. Broker's Ascendancy. Interesting. You're not helping. Okay, there's a slight chance that we just win with an equipped Vault Scourge, whose lifelink ability prevents us from getting re-beatsed by a 7/7 mother. Angry Mothers would also be a great name for a deck. Mother of Runes, Giver of Runes, and the rest only pump spells. Yeah, second land would have been really great. But yeah. I could have mauled to 5, but I was reluctant. Yeah, I think we can call it a day and go to game 2. So, interesting. This is also not great. Where's the pressure? Still. I'm going to keep this, because once we found the first creature, this will actually be great. And Tangle Wire can also do quite a lot when we have some equipment and other permanents lying around. Ooh, that's a creature. But that will have to wait until next turn. Boo. Okay, let hell break loose. Have fun. Yes, that Urza was quite a top deck. Slight escalation for round 3. So this is the upside of robots. We saw the downside in the first game, and we saw the upside now. It's a really highly variant, high variance deck. So with Ancient Tomb we can cycle Companion to get more mana. That's actually fine, and that's a plus for Sojourner's Companion. I'll remember. The question that remains is, will we... This does, in theory, change something? If we get untapped mana, blue or red or white. But we don't, so that doesn't matter too much. Question is then, do we want to play Automaton now, or do we want to cycle Companion first? I think it's always right to get that one on the board as early as possible. If we do it next turn, we miss one attack, basically. Although, at the moment, I don't have any chance of getting it bigger than 1/1 next turn, so because it only triggers on cast, so playing an artifact land doesn't trigger it. Actually, if I drew an island or something like that, I could enchant it with Ensoul Artifact, then I would have a 5/5 with Ward 2, which would be interesting enough. We're playing against white, so Ensoul on Darksteel Citadel is not as broken as in other matchups, because white has a lot of exile removal, as you can see in my hand as well. So that is not as close to auto-win as it is in some other circumstances. Hingerbeck Walker. Yeah, this is all a bit unfortunate. I mean, with Mother of Runes Online, I don't have any option to kill his creatures anyway. So I can actually go for the aggressive plan and slam the Walker. Get a counter here. And enjoy the fact that Mother cannot give protection from colorless. Noteworthy that this would be a situation where Walking Ballista would actually be good. Walking Ballista can defeat an active Mother of Runes. He's pathing my automaton for 3 mana. That's fine. Yes, I want to do that. I want a... blue one? No. Give me a red one. No, fuck. This was exactly the wrong one. Oh, workshop. Does it do anything? I don't have that many artifacts, actually. It's bloody useless. Yeah, so I just realized when I clicked it that I don't run the white-blue duel, which is then a terrible misclick. But I do run... Oh! Shit, I have... Huh. Okay. I've made several mistakes here. Happy little mistakes. Okay. Yeah, but as long as that Mother is active, these don't do anything at all. Anyway, so... Could have also taken an untapped land now to have Hangerback Walker grow. Oh. Okay, the mana base is not optimal. So I thought I would have the... I mean, I misclicked in the first place anyway. I think in this Jeskai / colorless build it would maybe be justifiable to run the 3 Jeskai artifact duels. If one plays Sojourner's Companion, it's probably mandatory. Reality chip, interesting. Takes a long time until it's equipped. There is a Ronin, and that doesn't get me anywhere. What does get me anywhere is Khan's Sign of Urza. Question is, do we want to draw a card or just throw constructs? I think throwing constructs is fine. And play the saddest Mishra's Workshop of all time. I mean, it does happen that you have workshop and nothing left in hand, but having these 5 hand cards and not being able to cast any of them with a workshop, that's kind of dumb. Yeah, I have a feeling that the current list is not actually where I want to be with the Angry Robots Highlander, but yeah. Also, this matchup doesn't feel very positive for me, but yeah. I will do another match against another deck after this game, and then see where we're going. I think this is the same issue as Angry Robots has in sort of all formats. It's kind of obvious that the Jeskai colors are the good colors for the artifact deck, but in general you only want 2 of the 3, and the question is which ones. And in Highlander this might rather be white with a little bit of blue, as was the original version, because the red cards tend to be better in multiples. So can we draw something good? We'll have to find out. Let's snack that. Pithing Needle. Oh, Pithing Needle is great, actually. Mother Bear, Mother of Summer, Mother of Runes. 2 mana left for artifact spells. Need. We cannot do that. But we can do this. I didn't even have to bold that. So maybe the Pithing Needle can even become the next 5/5 beat stick now. Hex Drinker. Well, that's a beast. Seeing this reality chip in action makes me wonder if I should play this in the robots deck, maybe. We need to get rid of that Hex Drinker. That's more important than getting a counter on Hangerback Walker. Shadow Spear is also moderately interesting. Oh, that's the toolbox. Needle, scissors. Petty theft on pithing needle. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Then we name reality chip. Then at least we'd be able to once we get rid of the host, he won't be able to equip it again, at which point it will be rendered useless. But unfortunately he has a full turn with Sylvan Library, so he can probably play another 2 to 3 cards from top of the library, unless it's all lands, then not. But yeah, last turn I think he played 3 spells off the top, which is really massive. Strong card. My land problem has just been solved, as was my board. Now it's getting cocky. So important things first. We need to get rid of that. Step 2, cast this boy. 3, take no damage, equip that thing. Regain 3 life. This has become a game, actually. This might be a problem. Yeah, I think this is over now. We would need a very good top deck in order to turn this around. Yeah, keep up the tension. Another chance for a very good top deck. Wow. It's a plateau. No. This was a bit error-ridden, this game. What the hell? What is this deck? Do I have a Pioneer deck? And why am I on the Pioneer tab? Anyways, there is the next challenge. We take the Robot Highlander again and go for one last match for today's stream. And we may play first. There's blue mana, red mana, Shadow Spell. It's not the most exciting of hands, but robots can always grow into happy escalation. So no reason to bolt end of turn. Inkmoth Nexus. Is that better than Seed? Maybe. Let's try to resolve and steal Overseer. And a book or sword? Choose wisely. He has chosen and Overseer is resolved. Great. I'm trying to figure out whether this is a deck that we have played against or not. And we found white mana. This is the more important part. We could try to resolve Stoneforge Mystic. Which will probably fail. We might also try to just activate Nexus and attack, activate Overseer and create some infect threat on the board. Have Lightning Bolt open. I think I like that line. Dismember. No, that's fair. So it's a kind of soul tie. Let's just try. If we fail, we fail. And we fail. I think it's time to deliver some beats now. I think beat sync time is over. So hopefully he plays a threat that we can handle with Dismember or Lightning Bolt, then we can slam Tanglewire next turn and buy some time to get real value down. So we could handle the Questing Beast, we could not handle Jace if he upticks. Could not at all handle Oko. We can also not handle Sylvan Library, but also this doesn't pressure much. But also you cannot tap it into Tanglewire. Now let's just try. If we can resolve that. We cannot. No, this is not going very well. If we find untapped land and resolve Urza, we might have a chance. If we don't, then we are probably boned. Oh, it's a rabbit battery, it's not a land. Still, I'll play that. I'll ram it in. Let's build the mightiest ornithopter in the world. Okay, it's maybe the second mightiest ornithopter in the world. Ugh, that's a ton of removal. That was not much of fun. I didn't have the right hand and right draw to win against that. Also, although my deck is supposed to be very curvy, I don't draw it very often like that. But it's also very fragile, of course. I mean, it relies on my first innocent creatures to be sticking to the board, which they often don't do because people have realized what the robots are doing. So there is always a chance to just lose against removal.deck. Can we use that to ramp? Yes, we can. Opponent seems frozen. Okay. Opponent said he had to note down copy artifact to put it into his artifact deck. So at least this this match had at least one benefit, namely inspiring people of cards to play. Yes. And he says, yes, I can take Tezzeret. And then there's another 4-mana walker that will hit the ground next turn. If he cannot counter or immediately destroy, my Planeswalker next turn, then I'll be very fine, I think. Actually, it gives me Tezzeret and not Karn, okay. Discard 2 cards unless you blah. I think Spy of Industry is the better choice. Really? Ah, okay, it's only opt. But you still might find a force or something. Which is the point at which I would say goodnight. Because obviously there won't be much going on after that. But he resolved. Okay, so we have a game. I want to refill my hand, I think. And I want to discard an artifact, this one. A friend of mine used to have a mono blue Tesserator Highlander, which was annoying as hell, like 15 years ago. I wonder if that's viable again. There are more Tesserats now? More broken artifacts to tinker around with? Maybe one could do a not so angry robots variant and make it something else. So I could get some free damage in here, right? I pay this currently 2 because Tezzeret makes it cheaper. Some modem is clicking again. Yes, I want to do that. Holy shit, wilderness reclamation. Yeah. Okay, this robots list is just bullshit. So the mono-red testing was quite satisfactory. The robot testing suggested that I need to reduce it to 2 colors, whichever that need to be. And that will be content for the next stream. So for today we have streamed enough. Stay tuned and goodbye.